The weekend debate, ladies and gentlemen, it's historic. Prime Minister taking a sortie in Tejas fight chair for almost 30 minutes. Just put this in perspective, gentlemen. Just about a few years ago, you've had the opposition is contributing made. Politics has essentially been defense. That's exactly what we are going to focus on. What is it the country should achieve in terms of preparedness of government, and what the NDA government really achieved in the last few years? Perhaps could do without much politics. The reality that on defense preparedness, several months, especially during the elections around the corner, of great from reform to forget things. Today, with the Prime Minister taking that sortie, perhaps one big message is sent only to the domestic, but also to the naysayers, whether it is really prepared when it comes to defense. And can we actually say now that we this must takes the sortie in stages over 80 minutes. Tejas sources suggest 83 Tejas fired by the government. Credit for break costs commission. Rescue operations face machine break and export. Shock over in election-bound Telangana, Yogi Adityanath said Hyderabad will become BJP's voted power. Ladies and gentlemen, Prime Minister today sought to support India's indigenous fighter craft Tejas. Undoubtedly, every pride in India's defense capability to focus the lead Indian defense sector has to manufacture. In fact, it's also a loss of for those who track down India's Indian defense establishment, attempt to and to put this in perspective, ladies and gentlemen, there's absolutely no doubt about it. But it's a reality which really shy away from. When it comes to defense capability, what is really achieved? Should take when it comes to defense prepared? So then the weekend debate.
Aircraft after introduced to the pilot, he went on board indigenously designed combat fighter aircraft. Seat tracked officials and giving a thumbs up officials indicating his preparedness. Soared into the skies, the first PM. Prime Minister Modi was given a first account of the lightweight the Modi craft. The pride was made visible on PM's face. He experienced demonstrating his confidence in a country, giving him with a renewed sense of pride and optimism about our national potential. His thumbs up and smile and indicate his unwavering faith on scientists, engineers, flight test personnel associated. Sortie has instilled in every Indian a sense of pride, very just.
Atmanirbhar Bharat, this is not only a proud pride of India, it is for me, fantastic India, it is for me, Bharat India, it is for me, dream come true India, it is for me only nothing better than be Atmanirbhar Bharat, and we are for the Tejas, I can only say one thing, it is moment of pride. ये मेरा आज घमंड है कि we are proud of India, proud of our Atmanirbhar on a line which is absolutely great.
And the Tejas focused on success Atmanirbhar defense move, a campaign that was mocked by Congress.
प्रधानमंत्री ने वायदा किया था 2 करोड़ जॉब्स में हिंदुस्तान के युवाओं को किया। काले रंग घड़ी देखो बब्बर शेर बब्बर शेर आपसे हमें बताओ कितने को
HAL that developed in Pride Tejas was once a target of political.
ये जो आपके मित्र हैं अनिल जिनको आपने हवाई जहाज का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट छीन कर दिया, जिनके जेब में आप हिंदुस्तान युवा हिंदुस्तान की माताओं और बहनों का देश को आप बताइए काम क्यों किया, क्या आपकी सोची, ये चौकीदारी है।
The defense sector that was once riddled with scams in UP era, for example, the scam.
Christian, turn down a group of Christian, get backs, Christian, facts, Modi India, Christian, what you backs at last
Is now no reliant on truly flying with defense capability.
Well, there's always that high octane when it comes to defense preparedness. Over the next 1 hour, and the attempt that we'll try and make is put on what is it that exactly are we really lacking, and is this entire argument or what takes place on matters like this really appropriate? Now, that's based on putting across our panelists who are joining us. So the tonight group captain is joining from Capital Panel. Abhinav is here. For joining us here. Perhaps we put in terms of both the achieved Savyas, Goa Chronicle joining Shyam Kardeep Modi, a political analyst, and Sumansi Raman also join here. Ladies and gentlemen, let me first put out some perhaps report to help me do it. I'd like to come to you. What is it you have achieved over the last few years? It's quite evident that great push in terms of reliant on various factors. Of course, there is a lot to go. There's no doubt of it. Why don't you understand in terms purely what is it really?
To put a very short, difficult task, Shravan. Thank you for inviting me and carrying away with this theme of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Implement you program. Now, the term Tejas itself was coined by our ex-minister. The vision of a alliance was there. What has come? This government leadership big been given. There was a time that dream. Can you believe me when I say it's based on that first almost 75% of the defense has been industry. So I would say is nothing less than a revolution.
As far as your opening remarks are concerned, very speeches that have been made. One of the reason why skepticism in this entire matter is also because many believe that there is a continuity in what we have seen when it comes to planes into with Group Captain Augustine, but also look at the politics of this entire issue. So when it comes to preparedness, let's be honest about one thing, that being self-reliant is keeping in mind where we've seen this, that several nations put in loggerheads, and of course, the remnant of the Cold War. It is certainly important for a country like India, which largely talks about its own national interests, our foreign policy largely being shaped by its own national interests. Where do you see, why is it that, at least on this map, not about anything else, why is this is very difficult to achieve have been made?
I think that as this Tejas itself is concerned, if I remember, the project starts in the 80s and subsequently the development had started, and so the project has had the consistency of multiple governments of the 80s and 90s to NDA. One of Mr. Vajpayee, in fact, as Mr. Vajpayee gave the Tejas. Subsequently, it has continued. So I think it would have been nice had the Prime Minister acknowledged as much, saying that just to where we are today, and the whole thing that has happened in 2014 and nothing was there before that. Quite true, and I think that the what happens is that where it is due. Naturally, the opposition also they want to run down even what legitimate achievements. So the defense corridors have been set, now participating in the defense sector. All these are achievements. But when you say that you won't give this and say that's a problem. But as far as Tejas is concerned, it is not that the particular government and project that long delayed. It has been presented by CAG for a variety of short terms, but at the end, it just and it goes as much to this. That willingness to share the credit is not seen. It also reacts the way that it does.
Aspect to that when it comes to what Suman C. Raman has had to say. Is it very difficult for us to be perhaps a little defense? You have to understand that it's not an overnight. There has to be continuity and some on the line. That's exactly what the Rafale jets is to it. Savio, today, the Prime Minister has also criticized the Congress party, the likes of several within the Congress party too, that on the one hand, when the nation was saying, Braveheart Captain Pranjal, the skewed way of really. But having said that, the Prime Minister did that. Also came perhaps pushing certificate family members of a martyr. That really did not go down well. So there are two aspects to it. I want to respect in terms of whether at all the current government perhaps there is a justifiable criticism that they face when it to look like that it is only their doing.
Shravan, well, that's a debate point, but let me just give you some stats to really why we should, encourage what we're doing in the defense sector. Look at 2017, the defense exports from India 1,521 crore, and this was in time when. But now 22-3, the defense now 15,980 crores. Huge. These are. If you look at between April 2000 and June 2022, there's been 13.6 million through the defense is concerned. If you look at the India defense production from first 2022, it is USD 2.24 billion.
Yeah.
In 2022-23, the acquisition of military hardware for domestic industry was 9.84 billion. Has been if you look at this growth, Shravan, has come leave of towards our. I can go on with so many points. That obviously focused on defense, but it was not as bullish as this government is doing it. This government is doing it because it wants to become self-reliant. If 80% of most of the defense production is happening from huge growth, and that's not broad politics, because defense is not about politics, it's science. In fact, in 2023 budget, it is of after procurement. So while Sumant might want the BJP to give credit to other governments, within it has grown from 2016 to 2017, from 1,500 to 15,000 crores. Shouldn't the Prime Minister and the Indian government be defense? Statistical.
That's a point well
Don't
taken.
play Sumant around.
That's a
No,
point
no,
well
one
taken.
second. No, 1 second.
That's a point. In terms of data. No, Sumant, I'll do that. I'll come back. I'm trying to do here. Sumant and Savio, just 1 minute. Sumant, Savio, I'll just 1 minute. Sumant, I'll request. Let's allow everyone because I believe this is a subject matter that should understand to the depth of it. The way Savio was also pointing out, there are data that there is extreme the rate sharp speaking and being a journalist who's covered various causes and have there is a clear difference in high sense that the military perhaps feels freedom to operations in an out-of-box manner. That actually enables to operate much more freely, and I can list a number of examples by which it has only given enough confidence to operate freely. That is it was operation. One would say that perhaps under the NDA government, it has seen a lot of results, but that can also be, you can also count, would not be that you will take into account?
Seven. First of all, I expect everybody to maintain the decorum, not jump down the throat. What is that debating today? We are that practical on the ground. Now, about telling me, think NDA government, who authorized you to draw that conclusion? Force have see, this is all nonsense. Please,
Because
these are two. Wait.
can I give you one why you ask this? Who?
Finish.
No, I'm not going to allow.
Finish.
Okay, but will you allow me to respond to at least who authorization? Prasad Mecca, unlike many other anchors, Colonel Navneet will tell you, unlike many other anchors, I have been right in the midst of operation. I've had the opportunity. I'm extremely. My career, I've had such opportunity, personal experience. Unlike some journalists who love to only tom-tom about it, I haven't done much about it. Having said that, don't take experience out of it.
I don't take away the value of your opinion, but don't bring it out as okay. Covered our that fine. Other 4 brothers in the army. I have the army. See, take out all the Tejas is successful. Let's keep my third question. What is this visuals that the center of screen? Okay, Prime Minister went there, congratulated those people. That's all fine. That is going on your screen. These people have nonsense. Please. We are not here to play to your hands. India is over. This is a new. Okay, Prime Minister went there. What are you doing here? And who that this?
I allowed you to, Shyam Prasad, very unfortunate, very dignified. It's
no, telling you,
expect the member. As an criticize when it comes to policies.
What? Criticizing you.
You call this the woman tried for a reason. Perhaps group cap actually tell you what does this essentially mean. You have the Prime Minister of the country taking the sortie, which is not very easy, very clear about it. If it uses that you come from the armed forces background. Let me give you space that you would understand what does this actually signify and what is it. As the message is not only domestic. And Augustine, if I can come on this. Now, just here, you've a question. Let's take this forward. Hear it. Now, when it comes to Tejas, there was Captain Augustine, correct me if I'm wrong. There was a lot of skill because this was large indigenous platform, and in the market, let's not forget that which would not have been very happy with the rise and the success of an indigenous platform like the Prime Minister decides to take a 30-minute sortie. It is a message to global players in terms of the efficacy of our combat. Group captain.
Absolutely. I really want to be apolitical about this. I'll start with a famous quote by about he said, they're over. 8% of them survey. This is what statistics do. While, but I totally echo with what Dr. said it in one of the channels just a little while ago, that credit we need to look at the success of Tejas is my statement, and I stick to that statement. But let's rate the survey. Someone talked about Tamar. So, taking that, the premiership of Atal was March 98, and I think till May of 2004. That let's draw a parallel to the timeline of how Tejas progressed. 1986, and the document started out till 90,000. In fact, for 20 months, because one company which was supposed to give us the flyby did not give, and thanks to them, we developed quadruplex technology on the ground, the best flyby. March 98 and 2004. Keep the mind of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and now let us look at the time of 2001 till that time. Tejas on the 36. Tejas was on the ground doing up and down major issues. The promised amount of some 980 million, out of which only half. Of course, India was also going through a bad phase at that time. Given 2001, that is the first time the technical demonstrator won there. And by the end of is the production version takes to air. So production in 2003 is all during this time. That is 8% ate the survey. Understanding of how Tejas is such an important landmark as far as technology is concerned. Who said the name? All this that you see, the in me died. I almost died on takeoff. And I came on an aeroplane. And all of us have been plagued with many accidents. More single accident, also a wonderful plane. I flew that aeroplane as well. Multiple crashes, not a single crash. For a single engine to have more than a decade this kind of track record. Let me also put another thing in perspective. The entire thing, nature, including the engine to fit back an engine in 20 days. To take out an engine and put back an engine in Tejas 2 hours. In 2 hours, we can take out an engine and put it. Because someone, funded 20
This
years.
is what is playing in the center of our screen.
Yeah, let me tell you one. I'll take you to aspect. This flight is taught for 2 reasons. A, any prime minister of the country has flown in an indigenously ever history. Number one, I think him being Gujarat, that I think plays because the which are showing interest, likely to Malaysia. So he is extremely popular abroad. So him flying will give a fillip to our exports. Is the people across the world, which will to our export. Anybody, I mean, post 2 is correct, which is people will say the country who in a single engine fighter and forming in USA, in Philippines and in Malaysia. Then
This
other country people know
exact
which party is. Important aspect.
group captain, that's exactly was. But since I take complete umbrage over what I was essentially indicating, Akashdeep, to say that, yes. Listen, this is not about Narendra Modi, this is about Prime Minister Modi. To take this, this comes at a time when there was a lot of doubt in the efficacy of our product. Secondly, please understand, is this we everlasting about our production of this and the demand outside India.
One of our colleague was speaking about we should hide the facts and put up the facts. I want to tell to all that while we talk about Atmanirbhar Bharat, we are the number importer. We in the whole world. Import 11% of the whole world imports. Interestingly, in exports, we are not in the top 10 even. It is US, Russia, France, China. Some facts we should always see that we should put up the facts that we are still a long way to go. And we should take initiatives by the government. Now, talking about Atmanirbhar in terms of defense. The most important thing in the Atmanirbharta in terms of defense will be when the do you know that that CAF, Central Armed Police Forces, time to get the after the judgment by the honorable them haven't got put a plea which says the inclusion of forces under MHA, Ministry of discriminatory and in violation of principles of equality. Me as a common Indian, the man who does to empower him or her is the and the central government has to do a lot while the while Delhi High Court giving and said
well, at the start of it,
so there's a by the central government.
At the start, I did say there is a lot more to do. Savir, before I just want to quickly also know say there is a lot more to do. Like in terms of number, and I do believe that numbers the truth. When it comes to our there is alarming, and that is one major concern. That when it comes to transport helicopters, also just to there has been a rather a little bit of setback given the fact application when it comes to our. There is a lot to do. There has also been a period, perhaps when you have had one of the for a long period of time. A lot more. The Bund has a there is a gap. We are we being a bit operating.
Let me first begin with we must feel it in our hearts. We will be criticized anyway. See on the screen, I see Tejas given us of very few countries develop indigenous capability of aircraft. Now, having said that, I am not meaning that totally indigenous. Nobody so has achieved that. However, critical capability of the Tejas has been developed indigenously. I am not talking data on the to the person on ground who raised the second squadron of Tejas. He's saying is that today we are at par with the best. What I see on the sending shivers down the spine of our enemies. So let's politicize everything. That's our aim here, to grow as a country. I have with small arms manufacturing started recently and have said because of government's policies act earlier or the small startups who had to enter into the defense has to within inside for 3 to 4 years, which basically meant investment block for so many years. Essentially, now what has been done under Atmanirbhar here has been taken. People, what I is that countrymen or people, Bharat ke log to education. We need signaling. You know, the current world, the where prop hat risks take place. Strategic autonomy is not a choice of policy; it's an imperative.
I do agree on this point, Colonel. That it's of importance to us, and the very fact that this image. So, Raman, you've heard almost every putting across on one hand in terms of the credit war. You've made it very clear. Okay, let's that all of us should take pride in. About the aspect Shyam Prasad Mekka took. Who are you to really make that decision as far as the military? Talk about specific examples Sumant Sira, clear, we actually spoke about defense. Any such worth perhaps talking about in the last few years, and the very fact that there has been an ease of business also taking place, Sumant?
I don't know about the ease of business part, but the media will not report any scam, whether it's in defense or in any other sector. The media is not going to. We know that. The rules of the game by which the media plays 2014 and 2014 are completely different. So it would have the most clinching of evidence in any sector available, but the media will not even care or bother even evaluate the evidence. So I think that there are no more scams. The gospel truth. What potential than these bonds which are the ruling party of the total electoral bonds that are being given. Nobody in the government are allowed to know who is like money. So, I mean, I think it's very clear. A very important government to take this position that we will know whether and when that happens, you will know whether there were absolutely logic way in a controlled environment.
Okay.
Media is least interested. I mean, for media is full of clear leader, and the least interested in what previous government, which should have a solution, but have not, despite 10 years of this present government.
Let me take that point to Savio Rodriguez. Savio, one does have a point. The West investigation, which is still underway, we still haven't come to any conclusion on that entire matter. When it came to Rafale, to see how it was, there is also a lacuna in our defense today that to agree, and I'll give you one: 72% of the effectiveness of equipment has been purchased from. It still remains unavailable to our Indian armed forces. Now, this is despite the. When it comes to the joint military training, also remember there is. Colonel Navneet, at some point you will have to agree. When it comes to. There is a problem.
Let me answer your question in a point one. As the which was on the exports, which was 1,021 crore from 2016 to 2017, and jumped to 15,980 crore. 10,000 crore a year is of the bullishness of the government. Have we achieved this? Absolutely not. So I don't know why people are, rat us, because I do know good at imports. We started fine. He was very aspiration that he has, and so some aspiration like having a child. There is a or a sort of a child. Maybe the father is not the father, the mother is not the investigation. That's also mostly, he's always in the air. But the fact of the matter is, are we prepared for us to do as far as defense is concerned? Yes. To answer Sumant's second question, firmness by the government, the allegations leveled on people, the answer is the Congress corrupt ministers should be in jail and should have been in jail for the allegations that are on them. Rahul Gandhi should have been in jail. Gandhi should have been in jail. Corrupt, including the ministers from BJP that are allegedly corrupt, should be in jail because corrupt members in the government are a symbol they need. Let's kill the defense because young companies are in defense right now. The startup, SME, working hard, trying to indigenous from the Indian government, pushing the young companies to create, to come up, to be aligned. And I think that's the essence of what's happening. It doesn't matter so many the prime minister doing. What's important is the country, the prime minister is sitting in an area that has taken a long time to come, but we have to play as batters. You want to play around, fine. There's also going on entrepreneurs, young defense that we must become self-reliant. We are only 5. If you look at the same numbers I'm talking about, we might not be 20th as reports are concerned. They are being far, far different in number. To work the entrepreneurial spirit with the defense sector, which this government has done. That is not politics around it.
Okay. I would like to take a from a group captain August.
See, the first point is
taking the fact that just because just a reminder, captain also spoke about the days and perhaps time development of the very fight in between, perhaps the way it started, the way it has ended, and the way it is taking forward.
Yeah. I to group captain. Agree with. See, be it Congress or BJP, this project is too slow. Not just the defense, even the civilian projects, right? That is getting slow because all want to get structured. Now we are all proud of Tejas. Okay. Speaker just for me. I have a no. The is you might not expect what objection is. Sir, don't politicize anything. Oh yes, politics. Don't speak to the people that politics is anything. What do you mean? Don't politicize everything. As if politics is. Politics is the best thing. Politics
Don't politicize it.
For any society.
Defense is not about politics. The Indian Armed Forces is not about politics. Today, the moving towards what the defense is coming to. No problem.
What I did not just want a quick word.
Listen.
Quick word from our experts.
Don't vilify
Okay,
politics.
Just have slowed down. You know, my only grouse here is that I understand our compulsions. You know, I do understand. I want because I do political compulsion. Perhaps if from this particular government, you did a point. I want to ask you, actually happened. Later on, what happened is that our requirement is filled in some way or the other. Initially, it was 106. Then we organized. But I just want to give a quick word. Shyam Prasad Mekha, you made your point. I think some viewers have politics of it. But can I just get a quick word from Group Captain and Colonel Navneet on this entire matter? Do you see that when it comes to forget about civilian infrastructure projects, let's believe numbers that are cited by Savio, it doesn't look like. First, then final Colonel Navneet.
Thank you, sir. And I few aspects that have been covered by Prasad, as well as do comparison between Akashdeep Muni's and Savio's numbers. Four, two things as well to our viewers. Vice President runs a company called Autonomy. They make drones, and it was formed in 2015. 2016 comes to etc. Performance-linked initiative was introduced last year. Many companies to so been formed probably of supplying to armed forces something did not exist. And I'll also the direct 2019 South block. I had to take a purchase from Ministry of Defense people to which I'm paid to go. Yeah, South block easy. Whereas from in early 2000, and that time I have seen what these arms walk around South. Walking left, right, and center. So that
that's very unfortunate. You have a about reality. He's not. I don't think this deserves laughter and mocking anyone. It's his experience, and that is something that was known in Delhi circles very long time. Colonel Group, I just want to word also from Colonel. Okay, you don't forget about not believing anchor. At least believe the people. Hold on, Shyam Prasad Mekha. Believe the people who are in block. Would you not believe what that we can debate?
Shravan, bring me a place called Udhampur. If we know, if our countrymen know that there is Northern Command, in options. In 4 years of my tenure at RO Udhampur, it's of inductions, particularly or an equivalent. And Shravan, you would be privy to this. You sitting here, which in Defense Expo, and so I would to come here, open doors, which is for the viewer to read what all in one word was phenomenal. The using equipments which we had not seen before. At least I have 23 years and training for 4 years. About 15 years were spent on just there is a quadcopter, and from there's a gun attached, and so something like that. So I like to sum up saying that things are very positive in the right direction, definitely reaching the Bharta.
And I think, Prasad, because we are at least agnostic this matter, I think should get that sense of pride. Thank you as well as Akashdeep Muni, Xavier Rodriguez. We can.
Been conferred the Intellectual Property Award 2023 by the Indian Industry CI, a reflection of Amity's commitment to innovation. 150 granted patents, 33 faculty in the Stanford scientists, and an index of 130.
के साथ उसके दम पर
कांग्रेस को फायदा होंगे, तेलंगाना की बात का चुकी है।
केसीआर ओवैसी की पार्टी और कांग्रेस आपका एक वोट का भविष्य करने को महिलाओं के खिलाफ नंबर 1 बना दिया। हमारी आपने जो
कांग्रेस को फायदा होगा, भी फायदा होगा। ये तेलंगाना
केसीआर ओवैसी की पार्टी का भविष्य तय करने
PM Modi takes sortie in India's Tejas fighter jets arsenal with Muslim reservation in Telangana. religion. 68.24%. Still failed to out for shock over attack on bus conductor in Prayagraj. UP police probe communal angle. Uttarkashi operations hold. The Supreme Court captured who laid down fighting terrorists in Rajouri. Viewers, Modi flew a sortie in the indigenously designed, developed and manufactured combat fighter aircraft at Bengaluru this morning. During the 30-minute fighter aircraft, they were demonstrated to the time, and the Prime Minister has flown a fighter aircraft sortie. Here is a full report on talking about.
In Bengaluru to fly up clouds in the bright radiance that is Prime Minister witnessed a dazzling display put at the same airport during Aero India. Air Force VP jet but in a fighter jet of the Air Force and Seabird. Mr. Modi was impressed by his short flight and experience incredibly enriching. The Minister also said that the flight in the Tejas had confidence our nation. The Prime Minister to engine jet. VIPs allowed in multi-planes. Currently, the IAF operates 2 squadrons of 8 for advanced version of the order. The IAF is likely to be more.
Is not an pride of it is for India. It is for me dream come true. India. It is for me only one thing could be then Bharat, and what we have done today for the Tejas. I can only say one thing. It is a moment of pride. मेरा आज घमंड के we are proud of our line is unparalleled, absolutely great, best. It is the